Is my past illuminating my present or contaminating it? Virginia Satir, family therapist. Your brain is an incredible survival machine, but it has one deep bias. It doesn't love what is good for you, it loves what is familiar. Watch until the end, because by the time this video is over, you won't just understand how the cycle works, but I'll also share powerful, practical steps with you that can save you weeks or even months from repeating the same pain and emotional exhaustion. Neuroscientists have shown that whether something brings pain or pleasure, the brain begins to favor it the moment it becomes habitual. It doesn't discriminate between this feels good and this hurts me. It simply recognizes I've felt this before, therefore I'm safe. And because the brain equates familiarity with survival, it keeps pulling you back into the same emotional loops, even when those loops are damaging. This is called tunnel vision. Your mind becomes so used to a particular emotional pattern that it stops noticing healthier alternatives and keeps gravitating toward what it already knows. The same person, the same dynamic, the same ending. The longer you stay in the loop, the more the nervous system begins to mislabel chaos as normal, anxiety as chemistry, and emotional pain as something you're supposed to tolerate. In the first video of this series, we talked about why your ex comes back. In the second, we explored why you let them back, the fears, hopes, and emotional hooks that make you keep the door open. Now, in part 3, it's time for the hardest and most important part, breaking this cycle.
Step 1. Name the pattern, not the person. Breaking the cycle begins with clarity. Most people say, I'm stuck on him. I can't let go of her. But the truth is deeper. You're not stuck on the person, you're stuck in the pattern. The same script keeps repeating. They pull away, you panic. They reach out, you feel relief. You reconnect, it falls apart. And repeat. Why does this matter? Because if you see the problem as them, you'll keep trying to change the character instead of changing the story. Therefore, naming and writing your loop out like a script helps to keep you focused. For example, write out, when I feel abandoned, I tend to do blank. When they message me, I automatically do blank. When I'm lonely, my default is blank. You got the point. Fill in the blanks. This process isn't about self-blame. It's about self-awareness. The first light switch in a dark room. When you can name the pattern, you stop confusing it with fate. Step 2. Create a pause between trigger and response. Right now, your reactions are automatic. Notification, emotion, response. That's habit loop neurobiology. To break it, you start with a pause. Your rule might be, if my ex messages me, I wait 24 hours before deciding anything. Not ghosting, not blocking, just pausing. Why this pause is crucial? Because emotions come in waves. The first wave is always the strongest and the least trustworthy. When the wave passes, during the pause, you can further ask yourself, if this message came from anyone else, how would it feel? How did I feel the last time I replied? Does answering move me toward the life I want or back into the one I'm trying to lead? This pause creates space for your thinking brain instead of letting your emotional brain run the show.
Step 3. Soothe the nervous system, not the story. When your ex reaches out, your body often reacts before your mind does. Racing heart, tight chest, panic, craving, intrusive thoughts. This isn't drama, it's your stress response. Breathing techniques, grounding exercises, and movement help tremendously, but they are short-term regulation tools. They calm the immediate wave, panic, the urge, the emotional spike. They help you survive the moment without falling back into the cycle. But long-term change requires something deep, a new source of dopamine, focus, and reward. Your brain isn't addicted to your ex. It's addicted to the chemical pattern associated with them. The anticipation, the uncertainty, the release, the validation. If you don't replace that chemical loop, your mind will keep returning to the only source it knows. This is where long-term regulation begins. Let's call it the hobby shift. People often say work saves you during the harsh times, but the secret is not in the work itself. It's the neurochemistry of being fully engaged in something meaningful, familiar, or rewarding. When you immerse yourself in a task where you feel competent, focused, and even praised or compensated, your brain switches into a healthier dopamine pathway, one that competes directly with the craving tied to your ex. Now, if you are in a situation where your current work isn't giving you joy, go back to something that once did. Maybe it's singing or drawing. Maybe you wanted to go back to photography for years, or finally try that little idea you've been wanting to explore. It doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be absorbing and joyful for you. Because absorption, getting lost in a task, is one of the most powerful tools in trauma recovery and habit rewiring. It gives your mind a place to rest that isn't a fantasy about your ex. It gives your brain a new source of reward that isn't emotional chaos. It gives your identity something to grow around that isn't the relationship that hurt you. Short-term tools regulate the way. Long-term tools reshape the ocean.
Step 4. Rewrite the story your brain tells about love. Deep patterns survive because a part of you believes love is supposed to hurt, chaos means passion, stability is boring, or this is the best I can get. These beliefs don't appear out of nowhere. They come from the emotional maps your brain built over your entire life. Childhood, family patterns, past relationships, and every experience that shape the way you understand love. All of these maps together precondition you and shape who you are today. And here's the important scientific part. Your brain does not understand the word no. It doesn't process negation. If you write or think, I don't want someone who lies, your brain registers only, I want someone who lies. Because the word want is emotionally charged, and the brain responds to emotion, not grammar. So when you focus on what hurt you, your brain treats that as a command. Seek this. I recognize familiarity feels like safety, even when it's the exact thing that destroys you. And familiarity is enough for the brain to build a new shortcut, a neural pathway that becomes your default pattern. This is where journaling becomes essential. When you write something by hand, your brain interprets it as real, the act of translating a thought into language and then into physical movement. This creates a closed neural loop that signals to the brain, this is reality. Store it. Writing literally rewires neural pathways and creates new emotional associations. And here's another powerful scientific truth. The brain forms new memories much faster when emotion is involved. So if you can feel even a spark of hope, warmth, or possibility while you write, your brain seals in that entry with far greater strength. Writing plus emotion equals accelerated rewiring. Here's an exercise. Every day, write with full honesty, describing the kind of love you want to move toward, not the kind you want to avoid. For example, don't write, I don't want instability anymore. I don't want someone who hurts me. I don't want to be ignored. Your brain can't use these instructions. It doesn't understand the part don't. Instead, write only the positive blueprint. I want love that feels steady and calm. My partner is kind and emotionally available. I feel respected and safe. My nervous system can rest in my relationship. My connection grows me, not shrinks me. The more details you add here, the better. And the clearer the picture you describe, the faster your brain begins to visualize it, attach emotion to it, and build new neural pathways around it. Detailed writing helps your brain scan your environment for anything that matches this new pattern. Conversations, people, situations, or choices. And this is not manifestation. This is simply neuroscience. Daily journaling teaches your brain a new direction while weakening the old maps that kept you repeating the same painful cycles. With repetition, your mind slowly stops reaching for familiar pain and starts craving unfamiliar peace, because that is now the pattern you've written into existence.
Step 5. Design a life that leaves no space for the old loop. Patterns don't break in empty environments. If your life feels small, quiet, or lonely, your brain will reach for the quickest relief it remembers, your ex. So instead of only removing the past, you must add to the present and make your life fuller. Start doing the following: replacing nightly texting with a ritual of your own, expanding your support system, friends, community, therapy, starting a project that pulls you toward your future self. A fuller life weakens the gravitational pull of the past. Step 6. Decide your boundary before the test arrives. It's important that you don't wait until the next message appears, but decide now. If they reach out to me, I will do blank. For example, I will not respond, or I will respond only for practical matters, or kindly decline reconnecting, or I will do nothing. Now, each time you follow your boundary, you reaffirm your brain by sending your nervous system a new message. I can protect myself now. And slowly, the cycle loses its power.
Step 7. Forgive yourself for staying too long. This is the hardest step and the one that sets you free. Most people think forgiveness is a single emotional moment, but self-forgiveness is not a switch. It's a cycle, one your brain and nervous system must walk through slowly, deliberately, and consciously. And this cycle has 8 stages. 1. Self-pity, when you feel small, helpless, and overwhelmed. 2. Self-hatred, anger at yourself for tolerating what hurt you. 3. Self-belief, a quiet realization that you are capable of more. 4. I am loved, remembering that you are worthy of connection. 5. I am believed in, recognizing that others see your potential. 6. I am ready to change, the turning point where growth begins. 7. I deserve better, the stage where standards become clear. And a final stage, 8. I move forward, the moment of emotional independence. You realize you love yourself enough to let this end. You will move through these stages, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, sometimes forward, sometimes backward. That's normal. The danger isn't the stages
themselves. The danger is getting stuck in one of them. Some people stay years in stage 1, self-pity. Others loop endlessly in stage 2, self-hatred. Many climb all the way to stage 3 or 4, only to let their ex back in, collapsing straight back to the bottom of the cycle, because when the person who hurt you returns, they don't just re-enter your life, they re-trigger your old emotional map, and suddenly you are no longer healing, but surviving. This is why forgiveness must be conscious. It must be tracked. It must be written. Use your journal to locate yourself in the cycle. Write down the answers to these questions. What stage am I in today? Do I feel like a victim, or do I feel like I'm growing? On a scale from 1 to 10, how strong is my self-pity today? Do I feel anger at myself? Do I believe in myself today, even a little? Am I ready to change, or am I afraid to? Do I feel deserving? Do I feel forward movement? This process isn't self-criticism. It is emotional navigation. Tracking these stages helps your brain see progress instead of believing the lie that nothing is changing. And writing them down strengthens the neural shift, because every time you acknowledge movement, even small movement, your brain learns a new truth. I am not stuck. I am healing. But here is the most important part. During these 8 stages, you must protect yourself from the person who created this emotional wound and from anyone in their circle who contributed to it. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life forever. It means creating intentional, controllable distance. And if that's impossible, then as close to zero contact as your circumstances allow. If you share children, responsibilities, or unavoidable logistics, your communication should be minimal, factual, and strictly practical, and never emotional. Because even neutral, polite, practical messages can pull your nervous system back into the old loop and collapse the progress you've made. And if there is a way to avoid direct contact entirely, for example, by letting a trusted sibling, friend, or family member handle necessary arrangements on your behalf, it can dramatically speed up your recovery while you move through the stages. Remember, distance is not punishment, it's protection. A temporary, if not permanent boundary that gives your brain the space to finish the cycle of self-forgiveness without constant emotional interruptions. Forgiving yourself is not about forgetting what happened. It's about saying, my past shaped me, and I accept it, but it no longer gets to define me. And that moment, the moment you complete the cycle, is the moment you walk out of the tunnel and into your life again.
Breaking the cycle is not a single moment of strength. It's a series of small decisions that all say the same thing. I choose myself this time. But once the cycle breaks, a new challenge begins. How to heal the past that still lives inside you. What does real forgiveness look like? And how do you know you're ready for it? That's what you'll learn in the next episode. What forgiveness really means. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with the ones you love and anyone you know it might help. Your one click might not only help someone avoid months or even years of emotional pain, it may save someone's life. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Your reactions and subscription are the biggest kind of gratitude I can hope for. Every like tells the algorithm to show this video to 10 more people, and every subscription signals that all of our hard work, the research, the validation, the writing, and the editing was not done in vain. I'd also love to hear from you. If you've been through a cycle like this and managed to break free, please share your story in the comments. Your experience might be life-saving for someone who needs to hear it right now. Thank you again. See you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself.